Most of you watching at some point have wondered if you are what people might call high value, because women always seem to chase the men who are high value. Even if you don't realize it, women are immediately testing you from the moment that they lay eyes on you, just to check to see if you fit certain criteria that they are looking for, or to see if you fit the criteria of a high value male. And if you do meet this criteria, there's a good chance that women are going to respond favorably to you if you begin talking to them. Now, on the flip side, if you don't meet the criteria, then there's a really good chance that she's just going to turn you down in favor of another man who does. Now, the reason that high value men are so desirable, especially in today's society, is because they meet most of the criteria that women are looking for in terms of a universal catch. What you guys have to understand is that there are certain universal criteria or traits that women are always testing for or always looking for in a man, and the more of these traits that you have, the easier it will be to pass the quote-unquote high value test. Before we get into the traits, there is one important thing that you have to understand, and it's that women don't want just any old man. Women know very well that they have one thing that all men will do pretty much anything for, and this thing is beauty. Any woman out there with even average looks can choose from pretty much an endless sea of men, because the reality is that men tend to date down and women tend to date up. And all that this really means is that men will settle for women who are lower on the social economic scale than them, while women consistently go for men who are higher on this scale than they are. In plain English, this means that women have no shortage of options of men to choose from. And that as men, we have far more competition that we must rise above if we want to become a high value male, or if we want to have the level of options that women tend to have. So the more that you can pass the high value test, or the higher that you rank for these certain traits that I'm about to talk about, the more options you will have available to you. So with that said, let's get right into it. Number 1, pre-selection. One of the main things that girls test for to see if he is truly a high value male is to see if he has been pre-selected, or to see if he is found to be desirable by other women. Something you guys have to understand about women is that universally they look for men who can show that they are desired by other women. When you see a man walk into the room and he has several incredibly attractive females by his side, most of us would immediately try to figure out what exactly it is about him that makes him so desirable that all these girls want to be around him. And when girls see this, they wonder the same exact thing, except at the same time, they also become extremely attracted to him. Because despite the fact that all of the girls knew that he would break their heart, they all wanted him anyway, because he had been pre-selected by so many different girls. The more that a man can show that he has been pre-selected or that other girls are interested in him, the easier it will be for him to pass the high value test. Number 2, resources. There's a reason why so many rap songs highlight the fact that women want a man with resources, or that the women come with the quote-unquote cheddar, because resources means freedom and it also means fun, and girls really love to have fun. Now, the main test for a man to see if he is high value in terms of resources is basically a salary that is consistently over $100,000 per year. Now, I know most of you watching probably don't make anywhere near that amount, and so keep in mind that just because you don't make $100,000 per year does not mean that you are not high value. It just means that on average, the higher your annual salary is, the greater value you will have in terms of resources. Now, for those of you who live in America, only about 9% of the entire population earns this amount of money. So making $100,000 per year makes you stand out, and it makes it easier for women to view you as a high value male. Because men who have lots of resources have and will always be desired by women, because resources equals security. At the end of the day, women want a man who can make them feel safe and secure. And part of feeling safe and secure is knowing the bills will be paid and the basic needs will be taken care of. This doesn't mean that you must make $100,000 per year to be viewed as high value. It just means that generally speaking, the more money you make, the easier it will be for women to view you as high value. Number 3, social dynamics. This is easily the most important part when it comes to passing the high value test, and it's so much more important than how much money you make. Something that sets high value men apart is their ability to understand and navigate social situations. The waiter at the fancy restaurant who remembers you every time that you come there and already knows what you want and order every single time is viewed as having higher value, because most of us men tend to forget things really easily. Most of us don't remember people, and we fumble our way through social situations. The thing that women are testing for when they are testing for a man that is truly high value is to see if you know yourself, to see if you understand others, and to see if you understand how to navigate social situations. This is as simple as knowing how to act in social situations and not doing things that cause you to make a fool of yourself. And at the core, it is really just being good with people and good with social situations in general. It's knowing how to make friends and things like being able to charm people and leave a positive impression on others. Women have and women will always crave men who are well-equipped socially. And where you rank in this area or how good you are at this is extremely important to determining whether or not you are viewed as high or low value. Number 4, high self-esteem. As men, oftentimes, we are guilty of attempting to hide our insecurities with things like money, achievements, and success. Some of us actually have really deep wounds from our childhood that left our self-esteem damaged and bruised. And these are things that we didn't even have any control over. And something that many of us do as we get older is try to prop up our self-esteem with external things such as validation and success. Now, a high-value man is a man who doesn't depend on external things for his self-esteem, and the way that you can know if this is you is if you were to take away all of the external things that you currently use to prop up your self-esteem, would you be the guy who completely self-destructs, or would you be the same person that you've always been? The thing about women is that when they are testing for high value, they are checking to see if a man gains his self-esteem from their approval and the approval of others, or if he gets it from within. So many men these days are always seeking the approval of other people, but more specifically, the approval of women. Some men out there will try to buy this approval with money and flashy things, while others will seek approval in the form of being overly nice. One of the greatest tests that will determine whether a man is high value or not is whether or not he needs other people's approval to feel good about himself. Your typical high value man could walk into a room full of people who absolutely hate him, and he could still maintain his composure without ever breaking a sweat. A high-value man could have nothing. No Lambos, no big house, no excessive wealth, and no excessive approval from other people, and yet his self-esteem would remain the same. Number 5, direction. Something that women love to do is to test men to see if they can get them to do whatever it is they want them to do. And one of the main tests that they might use to see if you're high value is whether or not you choose your own direction. From a young age, we are constantly told what to do, what to learn, who to be with, but we have to reach a point where we decide what direction we want to go. Something that sets high-value men apart is that they listen to other people's opinions and ideas, but at the end of it all, they are the ones that's steering the ship. There's no shortage of people out there who will tell you their opinions and their beliefs, but high-value men only consider these things, and then they end up forming their own opinion based on their own beliefs and their own direction. Women will constantly test you to see if you can make decisions, or to see if you are capable of setting the directions of things, such as the relationship. And men who fail the high-value test will have no direction, no purpose, and they will just never know where it is they are going in life. Any man who has these traits, and the more of these traits that you have, the easier it will be for you to pass the high value test. Because at the end of the day, you can choose to be high value, or you can choose to be just another fish in the ocean. Really up to you. And with that said, until next time, thanks for watching.